If you've seen my March trade recap, you'll know that last month I generated a return of 13.93%, which produced 2 payouts on my 250k E8 markets account, one for $5,500 and one for $5,000. So in this video, I'll be showing you my dashboard, I'll be giving you an overview of the payout process, and I'll briefly touch on the trades that actually produce these payouts. So let's jump straight into the dashboard. Something really cool that E8 do, which I was unaware of, is that they actually scale your account based on your payouts. So if you look here on the right, you'll see that my initial balance was $250,000, but with my payouts, this becomes my new initial balance. So you can see the scaled balance is basically the total from the payouts, including the 20% which E8 take off. So yeah, that's $11,500, about $11,700 in payouts. So I risk 0.5% per trade on this account due to the 10% max drawdown, and this is to give me enough room for around 20 losses. My max drawdown ever, I think, was 13 losses, so negative 13%. So by risking 0.5%, I basically have room for 20 losses, which gives me a lot of space. So I know that I made 13.93% in March, but I manage my trades slightly differently on the funded accounts. So rather than exiting at the same place as all the other people who are trading similar entries to me, I actually closed the trades after they made around 2 to 3% profit on the account. So, you know, with my 0.5% risk, it's basically like 4 to 6% profit. So yeah, when the account went 2 to 3% in profit, I closed the trades, turned off my trade copier, so stopped trading on the account, because otherwise I'd be trading with my profits, and I just waited the 14 days for my withdrawal. I definitely could have made more, but I think it's better to have fewer more smaller payouts than fewer large payouts. So looking at the dashboard here, you can see I actually started off this account straight into drawdown, and this is actually the first few payouts I've had on the account. So it's funny that my first payout was immediately followed by a second payout. I think in Forex, when it rains it pours kind of thing, you know, all my trades came at the same time, and you can see the worst it got was around negative 6%, I think that is. So if I was doing a full 1% risk, I would have lost the account, because that would have been more like 12% drawdown, and the max DD is 10%, I think. So what other cool stats are there here? You can see my average win is significantly larger than my average loss, which is good. Average loss, 0.5%, and average win is like 2 or 3%, bit more. My win ratio is 34%, which is expected. My win rate is generally low, but my average win is significantly larger than my average loss. So that kind of balances out. You can see my risk reward ratio is 1.36, which can definitely be improved. But the last few months, I mean, you can see from when I first traded to recently, it's not been great. I mean, it's just been hovering around break even, to be honest. And prop firms generally have larger spreads as well, so that certainly doesn't help. But yeah, you can see just the last month or two, all my profits have come from like 2 or 3 trades, which is how it often goes. One thing I really like about E8 is that they use their own tech. At least I believe they do. I haven't seen any other prop firms with a dashboard as good as this one, which is a good sign, because you don't really want to be using a white label prop firm, because anyone could have set that up, and you know 100% that most white label prop firms aren't going to be booking your trades. They're going to be 100% paying you out from failed challenges, which is the case with a lot of prop firms. But at least, you know, if you're going with a prop firm that have their own tech, they are at least a little bit more likely to actually be taking some of your trades. One element that I really like on the account overview here is the equity right here. It shows for each of your trading days the lowest balance and the highest balance, open and close. So basically translates it for people who read candles all day, you know. But yeah, I really like this little page here. You can see I was pretty close to having a payout quite early on in November, but it looks like I didn't let the trade run. I think it came back the next day for back to break even. I think that shows with this trade here, I imagine. Anyway, yeah. Looking at my account history, you can see it's been mostly up and down, a few winners kind of compensating for a majority of my losses. So I think AU was what initially brought me out of this drawdown. So you can see I had an AU trade here, which generated $3,500. And then the next day I had another one going in the opposite direction, which generated $3,500. And then 2 days later, I had another trade on AU, which made $9,000. And this is what generated the first payout. So at this point, I turned off my trade copier, stopped trading on the account, took my payout, and as soon as I got it, turned the copier back on. My next trade that I took on the account was on EJ. This generated another profit, closed the trade copy again, waited until the next profit split, and took another withdrawal. So I think I can take a payout every 14 days. So I think with this EJ trade I took, I did have to wait like 4 or 5 days to be able to get the payout, because it hadn't been that much time since the last one. Looking down here, there's not that much information compared to a lot of prop firms. I know that some dashboards overwhelm you with information, but I don't think that's really necessary, to be honest. They've got long and short analysis, so you can see that my buys significantly outweigh my shorts. My shorts are in a net loss. You can see an instrument analysis. You can see which pairs have made me the most profit. So it looks like AU does good, and you can see that reflected over here in the trading volume that I trade AU quite a bit. Interestingly, NJ and AJ have quite a significant amount of trading volume as well, but that makes sense because on the JPY pairs, 1% will be a larger lot size than on a USD pair. So towards the end of this video, I'll touch on these trades briefly, but if you want to see me talk about them in more detail, you can watch this video here. So let's say now that my account's in profit and I want to request a payout. So what I would do is I'd go to the Trader Center here above me on the left, and I'd click on Payouts. And then this request a payout button, it will show your performance result, which is the total profit you're in, and it will show how much you're allowed to keep after E8 take their cut right here. So you can click on request a payout, and then you can choose whether to have your payout in Rise or Plain. Now I've tried both of these, and at the moment I personally prefer Plain, just because Revolut Business don't accept any money coming in from Rise for whatever reason. So I actually had to do my Rise withdrawal via crypto, which was much faster, to be fair. But Plain, you're able to withdraw directly into your bank account, which for me, with a Revolut business account, was a lot more convenient. I'm sure with Rise, it lets you withdraw into other kind of business bank accounts, but that's just something to consider if you are using Revolut Business, same as me. So on this page, you can see your payout certificates, your funding certificates. It will show them here. So I've got one for 4,600 and another for 4,700, and you can download those and share them online, which is pretty cool. So here I am in my Rise account. It was really easy to set up. Both Rise and Plain are super easy to set up. You just sign the contract that the prop firm sends you, and then you fill out the KYC, and then you'll receive your payout within a few days generally. So the payout methods in Rise, you can either do bank transfer, which didn't work for me because I'm using Revolut Business, Kraken, or another blockchain wallet. Kraken will be the fastest, but if you don't have a Kraken business account, at the moment they are taking a few weeks to verify your accounts. So if you don't have a Kraken business account already, I recommend registering for one so that you can withdraw into Kraken more easily in the future. On the left here, you can see invoices. So you can see $5,500 from E8. I think this is actually excluding their 20% cut because I got a little bit less than this. You can see your clients here. So I've got my 5%ers and my E8 account both here. They both use Rise. I normally use TransferWise, so not Rise, but Wise to transfer to my 5%ers. What other cool information can you find here? You can see my activity. So I tried to withdraw to my Revolut business account twice, didn't work. Then I just withdrew to Coinbase. You can see I did a few tests before withdrawing successfully. But yeah, Rise is fine, really easy. I'll show you Plain now. So Plain, basically the same as Rise, except you can't do crypto withdrawals, I believe. You can only withdraw to your bank account. So you can see right here, $5,000 from E8, although I think I got a little bit less. I think, again, this is excluding their 20% cut. And then, yeah, you can withdraw to any bank account, basically, an American one, an English one, whatever you want. So yeah, there you go. I'll go over my trades briefly now. Okay, so I'll go over the trades quite quickly now. If you want an in-depth analysis of these trades, you can watch my trade recap here, as I said earlier. So the first trade is a bearish sweep. We're clearly in a larger range. We're on a larger downtrend. There's a push down here. So I know that there's a lot of stops in this area. As we pierce this area, initially a bit of a shallow sweep, so I didn't look for an entry initially, and I actually took it Monday market open after we got this wick and a bit of a stronger rejection candle. And we didn't get an immediate reaction early Monday, but we did start to pick up momentum later. And then we got a sweep of the major low, so below this push up, and this push up, seeing lots of momentum in these candles. Didn't initially see that strong of a shift. At this point, I was still looking for bearish continuations, so I really wanted to see a strong shift in momentum because I was still looking for shorts at this point, to be honest. So it wasn't until this candle that I actually executed the bullish sweep, and this moved in my direction pretty much straight away, came back, tap break even, and then continued moving in my direction. So my stops were still down here when it tapped break even. And then we pushed up from there. Maybe should have left this trade running because we started trending from here. And then we got a flag. The wick maybe is a little bit of a concern, but the following candles showed no shift. We had a really good engulfing entry candle. And then for this entry model, I use a trailing stop loss and it made 5.13%. So I got 3%, 3%, and 5.13%. I actually closed the trade on my E8 account up here, I believe, because I was just looking to close it and secure the payout as soon as I saw a shift in momentum, basically. And I knew that there was some news coming up. Was it NFP? I'm not sure. But yeah, I closed this trade a bit higher up on my funded account. What was it? Around 7%. So yeah, there's the first few trades. So here's the next trade I took. This was a flag on EJ. We're in a larger trending market. Clearly, you know, there's big pushes up, favorable wicks. And then we had this nice impulse. We had an impulse shift down. That was pretty much the only warning sign in this trade, knowing that there's an area of interest up here, and we pushed up through it, saw no shift, maybe a small rejection candle, but not really a big deal. And then we got a really small tight flag, which was pretty much perfect. We moved away with 0 drawdown, so if you were late to this trade, you wouldn't have been able to get involved, and I made 5.2% profit. I think I actually closed this trade a little bit lower. I can't remember. I think I feel like I may have closed after this shift in momentum candle on my funded account. So I think on this one, I actually made a touch less. Let me check how much that would have been. So yeah, around 4.61% instead of 5.2% on the funded accounts. But yeah, again, brilliant trade. One thing I thought I'd quickly mention before I ended this video is that E8 have recently introduced a new custom. Yeah, so you can get a custom challenge. So I can choose a 2-step, MT5, and then I can choose what I want the balance to be. So let's say I want to go for a 200k account. They don't offer the 250k accounts like I have at the moment. And then you can choose your drawdown, and you can choose your profit share. So I can go for a 95% profit split and a 14% max drawdown. Obviously, this challenge would just cost a little bit more. But yeah, I thought that's worth noting. Thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. Make sure to leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed. Comment with this emoji to show me that you made it to the end. And yeah, I'll see you in the next few weeks. Thank you very much for watching.